Applying conditional logic to your Jotform forms is actually really easy, but if you want to build complex conditions, it might get a bit tricky. But in this case, I'm going to show you how to use Claude App to use conditions inside of there to build them. So let's go ahead and use the power of Claude App to build those conditions on Jotform. So form me to my desktop right now. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Jotform. On this video, I'm going to show you how to apply conditional logic to your forms using Claude App. So even if it's a simple or a complex condition, Claude App will get the job done. So let me show you how right now. This is my main workspace here on Jotform, and I'm going to jump over to Claude to show you how to do this on Claude App, not in Jotform workspace. So let's go ahead and open up our Claude App. Here we go. And the first thing you need to do is be connected with Jotform. So in Claude, we want to make sure that we're connected with Jotform by going into Customize, going to Connectors, and in Connectors, we'll see Jotform listed right here. And if it's not listed, go ahead and click on the plus button, browse Connectors, and search for Jotform. So in this case, let's go ahead and connect and allow it to connect one with another. So in this case, here we go. We are now connected and it's now listed right here. So let's go back into our chat and list our forms right here. So list my Jotform forms. Here we go, sending this off right now, and it's going to connect to Jotform and list the forms that I have available on my Jotform account. So here we go, it now found my forms, and I have 9 available forms inside of my account. So I'm going to work with this one, which is a Tech Conference 2026 registration form for the conditional logic, and we're going to apply several conditions to show you how powerful this is. So first one I'm going to apply is the updated field. So it's going to copy data between a field and add it to another field automatically with a checkbox. All right, so let's go ahead and apply this condition right now. So let's go ahead and paste our prompt and send this off. So right now I am telling it that we're going to work with a specific form, which is this one right here. And I'm telling it to add the details from my full name into the batch with the conditional logic. So it's now applying these conditions to my form, and we're going to see this finalized in a bit. Here we go. It is now done. Let's go into edit our form so you can see what has been done in the back end. So this is the form builder. Let's go into the settings, and in settings, let's go into conditions. And here we go. It created the 2 conditions for us. So here's the first condition, and here's the other condition. So let's go ahead and preview these conditions right now. Now be aware that I didn't have to type anything. The conditions were done for me. So let's go ahead and type in the name right now. Here we go. And I'm just going to say test for the other last name. And I'm going to use my full name on the batch. So that's a condition that it's going to apply. So let's go ahead and select this. And here we go. It is now added to the name on my batch. Now this is useful for several situations, including, for example, maybe the home address is the same one as the business address. So just go ahead and tick this on and it'll add the details to the business address. I don't have to fully type everything again. So it's a super useful and practical conditional logic that you can use right here. Let me go ahead and remove these so we start fresh again. All right. So let's go back into Claude, and now we're going to apply a different condition. In this case, now I'm going to use the calculated fields condition. All right. So let's go ahead and send this off. Here we go, sending it off right now. And it's going to take the ticket tier price, which I've set already in the form, multiply by the number of attendees, and add $99 if an add-on for the workshop is selected. Then apply a 10% early bird discount if the arrival date is before March 1st. So you can see it's a complex condition. And instead of me doing this manually, it's going to do it for me and save me a ton of time. Plus, if I don't know how to do this, then it's a win-win situation because I just tell it what to do via chat and it's going to apply it for me. So that is going to be applied in a bit. It's finalizing the form, and we're going to preview the changes in a bit. Here we go. Let's go ahead and view the conditions right now that were applied to this specific form. So let's go into the settings, in conditions, and in conditions, you can see that there's several conditions added right here for the calculated fields. So that means that it's going to automatically calculate some fields based on the selection. So let me go ahead and fill out the form automatically with demo data. And the data is going to be updated with the total amount due based on my selection on the top. So it's going to calculate the fields based on my selections here. So it's really easy and practical. It's going to apply the calculation with the discounts that are going to be applied. And I'm going to get a total due of $122 right here. So it's easy and practical to create these conditions. Again, let's go ahead and remove these to have a clean form to work with. And let's go over to the next condition. So the next condition that I want to show you is the conditional email routing. So we're going to send emails to a specific recipient based on the situation. So let's go ahead and send this off right now. Here we go. And it's going to send in-person registration to events. It's a different email to the virtual registration too. So it's going to vary based on the attendee type. So it's going to be notified to a different email. So it's conditional email routing that I'm going to show you how to apply right here in Claude. So let's wait for this to be finished and show you the actual condition applied. Here we go. It is now ready. Let's go ahead and edit our form and view those changes right here. So let's go into our settings, conditions, and you can see here that the condition has been now applied. So if it's equal to in person, it's going to be set to the autoresponder for the events team. And if it's for the virtual online, it'll be sent to the online team example. So it's a different email depending on the situation. And in emails, you can see here that they're also created right here for the autoresponders for the conditional logic. So autoresponder 1 and the event submission notification for the other condition. And you can see it's highlighted here with the conditional logic for the different emails that are going to be sent based on the type of attendee. So in person or virtual. And just by selecting this, it'll automatically detect which type of attendee and it'll notify the right person. So it's a super easy, practical way to apply conditions to your form. So again, let's go ahead and remove these to clean these up. And now let's do a route based on user input condition. So let's go ahead and send this off right now. Here it is. And on my form, send the submission to the example email when someone selects social media in the "How did you hear about us" field. So now it's going to apply a different condition for a different situation. So let's wait for this to be applied. Here we go. The condition is now ready. Let's go ahead and view those conditions now applied to our Jotform. So let's go into settings, conditions, and we have a brand new condition, which is if it's equal to social media, it'll send it to the marketing team email. So it's a brand new condition applied, and the emails should be also reflected here. So we have a marketing team now for the full submission notification based on that condition. So if someone selects social media here, it's going to automatically send it to that specific email. So it's a pretty useful use case for different type of situations. Okay, let's go back into Claude, and now we're going to apply a new condition. We're going to apply set field as a required dynamically. All right, so it's going to control the required fields. So let's go ahead and apply it right now. Send this off, and it's going to make special accommodations field required when someone selects BIP $599 deal. So let's go ahead and apply this condition right here. Here we go. Let's go ahead and view that condition right now. Let's go into our conditions. Here we go. Let's go into conditions, and it's going to set this to required based on this selection. So let's go ahead and test this out right now. So let's fill out the form details right here. And here we go. Right now, the BIP is not selected. So there is not a requirement for the special accommodations. You can see it's not required. Let's go ahead and select BIP now, and it's now required. So if they select that tier, then that is going to be required. So it's a really practical use case to be applied with conditional logic. Let's go back into Claude, and now let's go ahead and try enable or disable fields based on the input. Here we go, sending this off. The changes have now been applied. Let's go into view our form, and let's jump over to our settings to view those conditions. So let's go into conditions, and we have two conditions now created. So if the person is going to attend in person, it's going to enable the arrival date element. There's also a secondary condition. So if it's not equal to in person, it'll disable the arrival date. So let's go ahead and view this condition right now. By default, the arrival date is not displaying, but we're going to select in person, and the arrival date should now appear. And here it is. We now have the arrival date to be applied. So it's really easy and practical to do this. So let's go ahead and remove these conditions, and let's kick off the next condition right here, which is conditional page navigation. Now we're going to apply the conditional page navigation. So let's go ahead and kick off a brand new condition to be set. So if it's a BIP attendee, it's going to have a dedicated BIP detailed page based on their ticket tier. So that's going to be applied right now with conditional logic. So let's give this a few seconds. Here we go. Let's go ahead and view our new conditions. Let's go into our form. And since that form didn't have page breaks, it now has some page breaks applied. So we have a new page right here and the second page for the BIP section, and we should be good to go. So it's going to skip the middle section if they select BIP. So let's go into settings, let's go into conditions, and you can see the conditions have been applied right here. So these conditions are pretty hefty, but it built it for us with conditional logic. So let's go ahead and preview our form. Let's go ahead and test this out right now. Let's do a test fill out for testing purposes. Here we go. I'm going to fill out the required. It's going to be in person and it's going to be VIP. Number of attendees, it's going to be 1. And I am going to continue and it should take me to the VIP section. So let's hit next. And here we go. It took us to the VIP concierge section. So now it took me to the VIP section based on my selection. So it's a pretty hefty conditional logic, but it could be useful for different type of situations. So again, let's go back into Claude and apply the next condition to this. And now we're going to do a skip the page automatically. So now let's go ahead and apply the next condition, which is going to be the configure thank you page behavior. So in this case, there's going to be a custom thank you page for in-person attendees. So it's going to be different from the in-person from the virtual ones. All right, here we go. The condition has now been applied. Let's go into our form and preview those changes right now. Here we go. Let's go into settings. Let's view the conditions. And if it's equal to in-person, it's going to have a different thank you page from the original thank you page. That's this one over here. Now, currently it's pretty basic. We can make this even nicer, but we're going to keep it like this just for testing purposes. Okay. So we are going to select in-person to get that customized thank you page. Here we go. Let's fill out with demo data. I am going to be in person. That's selected. Here we go. Let's go ahead and continue, and let's go ahead and register. And here we go. We got that customized thank you page, which is pretty basic, I know, but it's just to show you that it's a different thank you page based on the selection. So it applies the conditional logic. Now let me go to show you a redirect to a specific page based on the condition. Here we go. Let's go ahead and send this off. And now the condition is going to be on my form, redirect VIP attendees to a welcome page after they submit based on their ticket tier, right? So let's wait for that conditional logic to be applied. Here we go. It is now done. Let's go ahead and view this condition right now. Let's go into our settings, conditions, and we now have a VIP conditional logic that's going to take you to a website. In this case, this is just a demo site. Let me go ahead and put a real site so we can test this out. Okay, so let's go into preview our form. Let's go ahead and fill this out with demo data. Here we go. And we're going to select the VIP and it's going to take us to the form. So it's going to use redirection and it's going to take us to Jotform. And here it is. It redirected us to Jotform. So it's really easy and practical. So you have all the power of the AI here on Claude to use conditional logic. So even if it's basic or complex, Claude AI is going to get the job done. So what are you waiting for? Sign up right now for Jotform and start using Claude AI to build conditional logic for your forms. Please let me know here in the comments what you think about the conditional logics built by Claude and what you would like to see in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification to get notified when the new videos come out. And that's a wrap.